Hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live stream. Here we discuss, well, usually it's we, today I'm the only one, but I discuss here everything and anything that has anything to do with both search engine optimization and AI visibility optimization, however you want to call it, geo, AO, AI visibility. We discuss all of that here. I'm Anne Smarty. I have been in SEO for more than 20 years, so I definitely have seen it all, and that makes it even more exciting to watch what's going on today. I stream to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So wherever you are watching me from, you can ask your questions because we always try to discuss something that is very, very timely and not just what's going on, because it's very hard to cut through all the clutter and noise in our industry. But I also try to make it much easier to understand as well as usable. We want not just to know what's happening, but we also want to know what to do about that. So we are trying to achieve that during these live streams. Today I'm going to discuss two new official AI visibility reports, both from Bing and Google. Bing came a little earlier, a couple of months ago. It is now very much improved. So we will discuss the new features that we have inside Bing's AI visibility report. And Google is a few days old. It was announced a few weeks ago, but just a few days ago, it became public to most website owners globally. So let's talk about, first of all, I will be using my notes. Feel free to do the same because there are lots of screenshots, lots of references, lots of bullet points of what you can do with that. Over at ansmarty.com, you can open the most recent episode and watch what I'm going to talk about, because it's a little bit hard to remember everything and to follow all the details here. First of all, let's discuss the distinguish. How are those reports different? None of them is perfect at any for I don't know which reason, but none of them is as actionable and detailed as we would like them to be. But Bing's is much better for sure. But let's first, before we compare the two, let's discuss how you can actually not compare them, because they are absolutely different. Bing Webmaster Tools, by the way, if you do not have your website verified there, it's very easy. If you have Search Console, you can just verify your website with Bing Webmaster Tools using that option. This is what I've done for a couple of my websites, just to look at those reports and play with them. So Bing Webmaster Tools now show AI visibility reports, and those are actual LLM visibility. It's not people searching Bing, it's Bing's LLMs, Bing's AI agent, search something which we really don't know what they're searching. We assume that's Bing because that's their own search engine, but that's LLMs search in response to prompts. So this is how it works. Someone goes to Copilot, for example, one of the Bing's LLMs. They ask something: where should I go over the weekend, or what's the best destination in France? And Copilot will search probably Bing, not for that exact prompt, but it will search grounded queries, something that it thinks will give the answers to that prompt. There probably will be a few grounded queries for each prompt a user gives. So this is exactly what Bing Webmaster Tools is showing. What Copilot agents or just Bing's LLM, we don't really know. They don't tell you exactly which LLM is that, Copilot and partners or something like that. What they were searching to give an answer to the prompt. So this is LLMs searching. Now go back to newish Google Search Console that also includes AI report at this point. It is search driven. Google only shows where your URL, not even where, but when or how much your URL appeared in search AI features. That includes AI overviews and AI mode. So those are people searching Google and seeing your URL in search, but not in organic search, in AI overviews or AI mode. So those are two completely different users searching and seeing. This is very important to understand because comparing the two is like comparing apples to oranges. Those are two different things. One is LLM visibility in AI answers. The other one is search visibility in AI features of the search. One is LLM searching, the other one is people searching. What that visibility entails, that's another question. Again, they don't give us much clues but impression, and what impression means, but also not completely clear about that. But let's talk about one by one a little bit to see what we're talking about here. And the first one is Bing. Oh, I can now share images. So you can see what is included in Bing Webmaster Tools AI performance section at this point. So there will be a grounded query. Again, a grounded query is what LLMs were searching to give an answer to the actual human user's prompt. People do not see these grounded queries in most cases. There are hacks to see them in ChatGPT, in Gemini through API, but it's not user-facing. So in most cases, LLMs will not even tell you what they are searching. So this shows you what Copilot agent was searching somewhere. We think it's Bing again. And then it will also show you how much citations of yours were appearing in different situations in the AI answers. So inside the chat dashboard. And also you will see the citation share. This is a new feature, very interesting one, because now you can see how much visibility your website has as compared to other domains in those answers. So you kind of can get when you're doing the best job and giving best answers. Obviously, for branded queries and for branded grounded searches, for branded prompts, your visibility will be much higher. So if you at this point, if you sort results by citation share, chances are the biggest share means that this is all about your brand. Someone was asking about your brand. Two new AI-driven features here, intent and topic. I'm not so much excited about the topic. Both of these, again, are AI generated, so there may be mistakes. I like intent column here because there are some interesting one like comparison, where you can find grounded queries when two brands are compared, and maybe that's yours. And that's an interesting insight into where you're positioned in Copilot training data, because they will search for you next to another competitor, and then that gives you a clue when you are very closely positioned and to which competitor. So check those out. If you click, let me try to share another screenshot. If you click, no, I don't have another one, but if you click any grounded query, you will see all your URLs that in different situations show up in AI answers when that grounded query was used. Good report can be used in on many levels, not as actionable because we really don't know what people actually are prompting Copilot. but it is much, much better than it used to be for sure. You can see URLs appearing for different search queries. You can optimize them better. You can get ideas of what prompts can be behind those grounded queries and see how much of a better job you can optimize your content to better answer those questions. Many things you can do here. You can again go to nsmarty.com and try to get some ideas of what to do with this report, but it is much more actionable than Google. But again, there is no comparison here, because Google reports on something completely different. And let's see if I can. So first of all, Google only gives us the URL and the impression. That's it, the number of impressions that URL got. In search, AI-driven searches, AI-driven features again. What was searched? We don't know, which makes no sense because this report is about search. So someone was searching for something, but Google doesn't give us any clues of what could have searched. Now, we're also not really clear of what Google counts as an impression, because in many cases, it takes a lot of clicks in AI overviews, especially to see that URL. For example, this is what an AI overview looks like when you search for something like best SMS marketing tools for small businesses. You see just the first part of the answer. To see more, you click show more. What are impressions only counted if that first part is visible, and only if someone clicks show more, there you will see more text and more citations. Will an impression be just when someone clicks show more? I really don't think so. I really think, but it also takes another click here, and that is going to be this. So when you click show more, there will be a citation panel to the right, which you can also click to show all. So in some cases, to actually see the URL, you will have to click twice. I really think that all these impressions are counted when you just see the first part of the answer. Why I think so? Because usually Google counts an impression when something is visible in search without further action, generation action. So for example, there are people also ask, and there are AI generated answers, AI overviews for those questions as well. So when you click the question in the people also ask, only then the answer will be generated. In that case, the impression will not be counted only unless someone clicks the question. We've known that for ages with people also ask that they will only count as an impression if someone clicks them. If something is hidden beyond show more or show all, I'm pretty sure that those count as an impression whatever. For example, in traditional organic search section of Search Console, you will see many URLs as number one, but it's not that they rank number one. They all show up in this AI overviews, and Google already counts them as seen and as ranking, whether you click show all or not. I'm confident that that is the same process here. Impression is not necessarily something was seen, because I really don't know how many people unfold those answers to see them in full. So an impression is not necessarily being seen by human beings or bots or whoever is using search at this point. So don't get too excited about impressions. It might not be about being seen. And moreover, we don't also know if it was ever clicked, which Google would not tell us as well. So to sum up, Google's search-driven report, AI-driven features report, only shows URL and how much it was seen, or impressions for each URL, but we really don't know if that URL was actually seen, because it is not always immediately can be visible. So what to do with this report? This is the funniest question, because I really don't have good answers here. We don't know where it was seen. We can see the country and the device. Thank you for that. But we don't know where it was seen, or more importantly, we also don't know which queries it was generated for, which in my mind, I can understand why Bing gives us only grounded queries, because those are prompts. So what was searched was the grounded or fan-out queries, we call them. In this case, someone was searching something and saw your URL, whether it's in AI overview or in AI mode, so not whether it was seen or not is another question. But someone was searching something. I don't understand really why Google wouldn't give us the query someone was searching for to see our URL. Makes no sense to me. I understand why in Discover they don't give that information, because no one is searching for anything. They just open their Discover home screen, Google's home screen, and they see those URLs. In this case, someone is searching for something. Why we don't see that information, I don't know. But after a little digging, if you're very excited about finding something to do there, you can somehow correlate organic search section and AI visibility. It's not called AI visibility, it's called AI-driven features or something like that, and see what is ranking and what gets more impressions, or what gets clicks and what gets more impressions in AI features, or what got more impressions in organic search and didn't get any impressions in AI features, for example. And somehow you can find some optimization steps there. For example, something is ranking number 1, getting clicks, but it's barely visible in AI features. We don't know which features, but anyway, I think the optimization AEO strategy would be pretty much the same for both, but you can find excuse me, that URL is doing very well in organic search and not visible in AI features, or barely visible. There's definitely something wrong there. So you can see which queries it's ranking for, double check there are AI overviews for that query, find how other URLs are cited in that AI overview, and try to optimize your page a little bit more for it to be cited in AI overviews as well. Whether it's really worth your time and is another question. It helps you understand the AI features better, for sure, if you succeed in re-optimizing something or giving additional answers. But whether it is very worthwhile visibility-wise, that's another question which I'm very critical about. Again, we don't know what the visibility, what impression is, if it's useful, because someone can see your URL and never click it and forget you right away. They tell you that citations mean brand visibility. Not exactly, because something can be cited, never clicked, and never impact the answer or your visibility, your brand's visibility in the answer. So I really would spend some time here just to get a better understanding of what gets cited and why, and what ranks and not gets cited. For example, in this screenshot, you can see that more URLs about methodology or about pages, they are better placed in AI features than in organic search. Definitely research. I would research that and see what is going on there, how to make it better. My assumption is that LLMs just like stuff like about pages and methodology and all of that, and like finding those and giving them in as citations, because that trust signals right there. But it's a good lesson to learn. You can probably improve your brand-driven pages for them to get cited more and drive more trust to your website. So there is a lot, something to do here for sure, if you get creative about that and dig a little bit deeper. But I wouldn't spend days on here. I would definitely play to see and understand the trends better, but I wouldn't really do too much here, because in my understanding there is much more you can do outside of this report that would be much more effective, productive, and all of that, and not spend too much time understanding why something is visible, because it may not even be visible. With that, we do hope Google will give us more, at least queries those were visible for. I have assumptions why they're not doing that, because they don't want AI overviews to be very, very trackable, and because they are not clicked, so that they don't give us those insights. But maybe there will be further pushes for Google to give us much more information here. We know this started in Europe, because they are forcing Google to give some transparency to publishers, because those AI answers, AI overviews, AI mode answers are basically stolen content from publishers. And that's why European Union is pushing Google to give much more insight here. Hopefully they will keep doing that for us to see more useful data here. If that were me, I would spend some time playing with this report, but I would spend much more resources into understanding things like why I got cited, but there is no brand visibility in the answer. That is a much more important question that I would spend time on. There are tools that give you some ways to track that, understand that. Peak AI is one. Amadora AI has great section there where you see exactly where you are cited but not present, where you're present but not cited. You can where you're not present or cited but you're ranking in that results, where you're ranking but not cited. So those are great insights to track and optimize for. I would spend much more time on figuring out that, how to tweak your content for more brand visibility, so that it's not just cited, but also results in you being mentioned in the answer. I think this is a much more important task than figuring out what is cited somewhere and got a not real impression, and why. Because citations are great to have, but brand visibility in the answer is much, much, much more important. So this is my personal takeaway here. I would really want to know yours. Please comment with how you're going to use that data, for example. I'm here with you to learn. We'll switch to a few questions. I asked them before this stream, because I'm not able to both moderate and speak. Usually I have my co-host April, who is now on vacation, very well-deserved vacation. So let's see which questions people asked before this. And the first one would be from Eddie. He couldn't join us. He's watching football. I mean, real European football, World Cup. Very, very appreciated, because my whole family is doing the same. So Eddie couldn't join, but he left his question, and I think that's a good one. So his website is not very visible in Google. So Google's AI report doesn't have much data, but his website is doing well in Bing and looks like it gets a lot of impressions from Copilot agents in Bing Webmaster Tools report. So the question is, if that lack of Google visibility results in lack of visibility in AI overviews and AI mode? And my answer is absolutely yes. That's exactly the reason, because AI overviews are basically organic search wrappers. If you're not in organic search, you will not likely to be in AI overviews, even if it fans out to something. AI mode is a little different. It actually has an LLM, so it's trained. It has Gemini's training data, so you can be visible in AI answers in AI mode without too great rankings for specific queries. But your brand needs to be known for that to happen. Even if for some specific use cases, your brand name needs to be known. It needs to be in the training data for it to be visible in AI mode. And in that case, if AI mode already knows you, there is a bigger chance it will search for your brand name, find your website, and it also cite it. So there is a little bit of a chance AI mode will give you some visibility, even with impressive organic search rankings. But in AI overviews, unfortunately, that's almost impossible to happen. So it is definitely for AI to have a lot of data in Google's AI features report, you need to also rank well. That's why when you have data in both, it's a good idea to kind of compare and see where you rank, but not visible in AI. That is a good question to answer. Another question, and we have a couple of minutes here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find it. It's going to be a long one and a good one too. So let's say, here Betsy is asking, should LLM searches be ignored? Should we not pay attention to what LLMs are searching for? And I have a lot of opinions here, and none of them, I may change my views. I have changed them a couple of times within these 3 years already, because what I thought 3 years ago has changed because everything else was changing, new tools, new tactics, something was impacting what I was thinking. For here, I have two major things to say. First of all, I'm with Betsy that is something to pay attention to, because LLM agents are searching and they are just like people. We need to understand what they're searching for and try to adjust our strategy high level. I wouldn't for sure chase any fan out there, but it is a good just to watch, analyze, cluster, understand our visibility for each particular cluster and all of that. So yes, we need to pay attention. It's just another audience for us to pay attention to. Whether I want to, like I said, necessarily know every fan out there, no. They change the way they search all the time. ChatGPT is changing that every 2 weeks or every month at least. Is it possible to actually find every fan out there and optimize for it? No, it is not possible. Are there things that we need to pay attention to when they change or what they are searching for? Yes, I would definitely pay lots of attention to if there are brand-driven queries, like I mentioned with Bing. How is your brand researched by LLMs? How your competitors' brands are researched by LLMs? How you to compare which competitors usually come together? Which ones are compared to you? That's a great insight. For example, Gemini API gives a lot of insight into that. ChatGPT, usually when you pull fanouts from ChatGPT, very insightful as well. You understand publications it trusts, you understand competitors, brands, entities it usually researches. Those are great, but keeping too close of an eye and trying to optimize for each of use case, no, definitely not, because it's going to be fluid, it's going to be changing, and watch Bing what it is searching for. But again, it's Copilot. I don't think consumers are even searching, asking anything from Copilot. They are more likely to go to ChatGPT. So Bing's data is great, but it's not what ChatGPT is searching either. So I would keep an eye on trends there and what's being searched more, but definitely not lose my mind about that. With that, thank you so much. If there are any questions, please ask them on any platform you're watching me for. Next week, we will be here at the same time with another interesting topic. April will be with me, so that's going not to be such a technical thing. I definitely picked one of the more boring topics to discuss today because April is absent. So I had that opportunity to discuss something more boring than one we usually discuss. Maybe next week we will discuss Reddit because a lot is going there as well that needs to be addressed. So see you next week. Subscribe and smarty.com because I will share the link to join there and the topic as well. Thank you so much and have a great